If you're running meta ads right now and you're optimizing for leads, you're literally training the algorithm to find some of the worst people on the platform. So I'm not exaggerating this because every single time I jump on a call with a coach, the number one thing that I hear is that my leads are garbage. It's getting volume, but nobody is buying from my webinar, or I'm having a hard time getting the right people coming in through my VSL. And the thing is, the number one question that I ask every single time is, what are you optimizing for? And 9 times out of 10 is I'm optimizing for leads or for schedule, whatever it is. That is the main problem that you're having in getting the right people coming into your ecosystem. So today, what I'm going to be sharing with you guys is what I do with every single one of my clients, even with my own offers, is how to optimize for the right people and being able to go over some situations on where you could actually use this kind of optimization so that you can start getting the right people coming into your ecosystem. But before we get started, I want to be able to share a little bit about myself. My name's Eddy Miranda. I have been running paid ads ever since 2019 through every single algorithmic shift, including the iOS 14 shift and, of course, Andromeda, which has been happening for the last few months. I've been able to manage millions in ad spend for people like Grant Cardone, Brandon Turner, and even Matt Deseno from HO Pro Tools as their digital marketing manager. I also own DEEM Marketing, where I help hundreds of coaches, consultants, and course creators with every aspect of their marketing. And I've worked with some notable clients like Denk Global, Real Grader, and Benazotti. Again, these are just some of the people that I've been able to work with. And just some of the stuff that I've been able to do, I've been able to help a SaaS company add an additional $100,000 in monthly recurring revenue on a $297 a month product in just about 2 months. I've been able to help an agency double upfront their cash from 5 to 6 figures. I helped a real estate mogul generate $5 million in sales on a live webinar. I've helped scale a financial business from $100,000 a month to $500,000 a month with an Evergreen Webinar. And I currently run a 6-figure coaching program with hundreds of students all learning my paid ad strategies. And here is proof in that. This is $116,000 in ad spend and generating over $520,000 in revenue in my own business. So here's something I want to be able to share with you guys, because a lot of times when we come in and start running ads, a lot of times that we think that we need a volume of leads, whether you're running a webinar or a video sales letter funnel or even a free lead gen as well. Everybody thinks I just need more leads. I need more leads. I need more leads. But what people don't understand is that they need better quality leads, or leads that would actually have the purchasing power in order to get their high ticket product or even their products in general. So here on the screen, what I have is basically the setup of what you will get when you start running any normal campaign on Meta. You have your awareness campaign, which everybody knows. This just shoots out your ads to everybody and anybody. It doesn't matter the conversion. They could be doing engagements. They could be just viewing your stuff, but it doesn't mean that they're actually going to do an actual conversion or actually take a step into buying. You have traffic, which basically just sends people to your website. That's what it does. It just drives link clicks to your landing page. You have engagement, which basically just builds social proof on your ads. You have leads, which is what majority of the people optimize for when they're trying to get a lot of leads, especially when it comes to a webinar or a free lead gen, or you use this when you're utilizing a video sales letter funnel. And then we got sales. Sales is basically the action of somebody taking out their wallet and paying for something before they even really get into your ecosystem. In my opinion, will always, no matter what it is, no matter what circumstance it is, I will always optimize for sales. And the thing is that I'm in the business to make money. You are in the business to make money. So why am I going to start optimizing for leads when all leads cares about is the amount of emails that you gather? That is the big difference. And I want to be able to share with you guys an example. And this is what I share with all of my students on how this kind of really works with Meta. You'll have a great understanding on why I always go for sale, especially if it's my top of funnel. I do not do an awareness campaign and then send people into engagement and then cycle people into sales. No, I just want to focus on people that are going to whip out their wallet and pay me money. That's what this is about. All right. So on your screen, we have a circle. That circle is your audience. And let's say there's 1 million people inside of this audience. When you set up it as an awareness, Meta is going to go and target all 1 million people inside of your particular audience. It doesn't filter out. It's going to show your ad to anybody and everybody that fits the criteria of whoever your audience is. So let's say there's awareness. Okay. But let's say now we optimize for leads. Out of the 1 million people that are inside of your audience, let's say about 50% of those people will do leads. So that means your leads is going to have 500K. So Meta knows these people love to submit their emails. I'm going to send you as many people that just want to be able to trade their email for something. And again, you're going to get a whole lot of people that are just not going to devour your content because they just provided their email and that is it. The value of an email right now is not a high priority for a lot of people because they know they just submit their email, they're going to get something. I'll get to it whenever. There's no urgency in trying to devour the content or trying to consume the content that you just provided that person. Now let's go down to purchase. Now, out of those 1 million people, 25% of those people will actually be purchasers, people that would want to whip out their credit card in exchange for something that you may have. And the thing is that Meta knows this. Meta knows exactly who those people are. That's why you will get very cheap CPMs for awareness. You'll get mid CPMs for leads, and then you'll get high CPMs for purchase because it's narrowing down to those people that are actually going to buy, people that have bought on the platform before, or it knows that has buyer signals. So when I optimize for purchase, I'm trying to get this bucket of people. So Meta knows the interactions of each one of those different kinds of people on the platform. So again, when I'm optimizing, I am trying to make money on the platform. I will do everything I can to make sure that I run for purchase because I want purchasers. I don't want looky-loos. I don't want tire kickers. I don't want people that are just going to be in my email list wasting space. I want people that are actually going to take an action. Now, with that, there's 3 different funnel types that I actually do this with. Yes, you could do this with a VSL. It gets a little bit trickier, but I want to be able to share with you guys the easiest ones to making sure that these are your front end, that you would technically have paid customers coming into your ecosystem and then ascend them into your higher ticket program for your done with you or even your done for you products. So the very first one that I want to be able to talk about is a low ticket offer. The low ticket funnel is very straightforward. You're going to have to run as a purchase anyways, but this is my front end filter to making sure that I get buyers coming into my ecosystem. Because what ends up happening on the sales page is that they are going to be converting into a buyer. You're going to be selling them a $17, $47, even a $97 product on that page. It could be a tool, it could be an educational program, whatever it is. It could even be a book, whatever it is. You're trying to get them to convert. So automatically you are going to be running as a purchase to this particular funnel anyways. But again, you're going to have your upsells, which are going to increase your average order value. And then you have a thank you page. So what this does is that now it gives you buyers coming into your ecosystem that now you could retarget them with your VSL or email lists in order for them to be able to get into a $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 program with you. What you're doing now is that you're qualifying people based off of them buying. Now, Eddie, why don't I just run a lead gen and just get all the emails? The thing is that if you run a lead gen, you're just going to be getting a lot of people that just submit their email. These people bought something. So that means they bought something mentally. They are going to want to consume the content that they just bought, especially if it's more around the $97 range because of that purchase. Now they're going to want to consume it. And this is why I love low tickets. If they already bought from you once, they're going to buy from you again. Usually the second buy is a lot easier than the first buy. But if somebody's already spent a little something with you, then that means that they are going to be able to buy something bigger because one, you probably gave them a small result on this low ticket. But second, they've already bought something. They've already whipped out their wallet and they're already in their mind, well, I already bought from this guy. The value's good. Let me go into the next step. So that's why I love a low ticket, but you ultimately get to put this in your front end. And this is the entry point and you run as a purchase. And that is how you're getting better quality people into your ecosystem. Next, let's talk about a webinar. So in this particular example, we are going to be highlighting an evergreen webinar. And the reason why an evergreen webinar is because of the fact that if you run an evergreen webinar, you're technically getting a purchase on that same day. And you would want to run this as a purchase. And I think there's a lot of arguments out there as no, I run a webinar as a lead conversion. I'm trying to get as many people in there. Again, you run into the exact same problem of volume, but not quality. I would rather spend $12 to $15 a lead than $5 a lead if I know that the people coming into my evergreen webinar are going to want to buy at the end of the day. Here, what you do is, again, you're going to run as a purchase. You're going to have them opt in. You're going to have them on a thank you page. And then you're going to send them into the evergreen. And then after the evergreen, they are actually going to shoot out into a checkout, which is where they are going to pay. And usually that cycle happens within 1 day. So then what ends up happening, because you're able to get purchases every single day, you're able to send those purchases to Meta and continue optimizing for purchases moving forward. Now, I'm going to give you a prime example because I did this with a very large webinar. And basically, one of the first things I did when I took over this webinar was change the objective of the ads. See, when I took over this Evergreen webinar, it was as a lead conversion. And yes, they were getting 800 leads a day, but their ROAS was at a 75% ROAS. Now, again, when I took it over, I switched it over to purchase. And yes, we did end up getting half of the leads. But guess what happened to the conversion of the actual webinar? We ended up getting a 1.5% return on our ad spend. That means that this webinar, just because I went from lead to purchase, basically doubled the return on ad spend by that one move. Yes, got less leads, but I ended up getting more leads that had a buyer intent than just leads that were coming in and just swapping out their email just so they'd be a looky-loo inside of the webinar. I brought in people that wanted to buy. Again, Meta knows people's buying habits. So that's why I run for purchase, especially when it comes for an evergreen webinar. And especially if we are sending that purchase signal in the exact same day back over, so that we could continue looking for more buyers on a consistent basis. That is the difference of making that one switch. Okay, and the last one that I want to be able to talk to you guys about is a bridge offer, or what is most commonly called a Tripwire funnel. So here's what a Tripwire looks like. Again, you're running it as a purchase inside of your ads manager. But the first one is an opt-in, and then the second one is a low ticket product. And then the last page is a thank you page, or you can continue the cycle of upsells. But basically it is going to be that they are opted into something first. And then afterwards, you are going to be selling something for them to buy, $7, $17, something very low ticket. But again, you're going to be running as a purchase. And I think the misconception that a lot of people have, especially the same thing like as a webinar, is that you want to be able to optimize for the action that they're going to be taking last. So you do not optimize for the leads because again, you're going to get a whole bunch of leads, but you're not going to be getting that many sales. But if you optimize for purchase and you start optimizing for the paywall, you are going to be getting far more purchases because that's who you're optimizing for. You're optimizing for people that are actually going to pay. Now, this is perfect. I love using this strategy for a live webinar, live challenge, live workshop. And the reason why I like this is because with Meta, you have to be able to send the purchase signals as consistently as possible, just like if you would be sending leads as consistently as possible. So especially on a live webinar is like you'll have a promotion cycle. So say this is day 1, this is day 2, this is day 3, this is day 4, and this is day 5. Day 5 is actually the day that the webinar or masterclass or workshop or challenge starts. But the thing is, if you're running as a purchase, you cannot wait 5 days to send purchases back to Meta. You won't be able to optimize. So what we do is that we use a $7 book and send those purchases over to Meta every single day. And when we do that, it's going to start optimizing for those $7 purchases. Now, the cool thing about this is that usually those $7 purchases go on your workshop and they actually buy from you. They're more likely to buy. And when you look at your data, you're actually going to start seeing, oh, this person bought this book, or this person bought this little thing, or this workbook, or whatever it is that you have on that page. They're more likely to buy your offer on your workshop, your webinar, your challenge. And that's just going to send more signals back to Meta on a daily basis. And now you can start really optimizing your ads to those purchases and scale the ones that are actually going to be bringing you in real buyers. That's why I love this strategy, especially when it comes to live events or webinars or workshops, because now you get to optimize for the true purchase versus I don't have the data in order to send over and I'm just going to be sending over leads. Now you're going to be getting hundreds of people. You're going to get a low show up rate on your event or your webinar, and your conversion rate's going to drop versus if you run it as a purchase, your show up rate is actually going to be higher. You're going to have more engaged people on the webinar and on the challenge. You're going to have far better quality than you ever thought that you had before. That's why I love running a Tripwire funnel for something like a live webinar, challenge, event, as long as you know that there is a specific date that you're running ads to, but you can't get those conversions of purchases to Meta every single day. Use the Tripwire in order to be able to do that. Funny enough, I'm running a webinar currently right now as it is that we do this webinar every single Thursday. We have a Tripwire. We're getting more and more people to take that Tripwire. And mind you, they are having the best sales on that webinar that we are now scaling it because they're like, we're getting 30 to 40 purchases on a webinar. They are 2 to 3xing the return on ad spend on that webinar just by utilizing this. So for me, again, I always want to run as a purchase, no matter what. At the end of the day, I'm trying to make money. You're trying to make money. I don't care about the amount of emails that I got. I care about the amount of quality people coming into my ecosystem, into a low ticket, into my webinars, and even into my live events. In each one of those circumstances, I want to make sure that I'm getting good quality people that are going to want to buy my product or my service. So I utilize this every single time. Even if I have a VSL, I will put a low ticket in front of my VSL before I even send traffic to my VSL. You're going to get far better people coming through your VSL. It's going to be life-changing for you guys when you utilize something like this. Again, Meta knows your purchasers. Meta knows who's going to purchase on the platform. Those are the kinds of people that you want inside of your ecosystem. You do not want looky-loos, tire kickers, people that are just going to be scoping you out. You want active purchasers coming into your ecosystem so that you can actually start scaling your business. So if you found this really helpful, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, even the like button down below. I put out content every single week where I break down what's actually working in paid ads right now for coaches. So if you're actually interested in working with me, I have a Felix down below. Apply to join my inner circle. See if you're fit, because this is the stuff that I do inside of my program with every single one of my clients. So the link for that is down in the description below. Fill out the application and I hope to see you on a call. So until next time, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed the value in this video, and I'll see you on the next one.